Prelude. On the 8th of January, 2148, humanity learned that we are not alone. The beginning of the new year brought with it the most important discovery in human history to date. Deep under the ice, under the Atlantic, a Russian Nordfrost geomapping team discovered a cave on their scans of Earth's crust, while searching for areas to offload nuclear waste. It wasn't unheard of to find caves inside the Earth's ice sheets. However, what baffled the geologists was the mathematically perfect spherical nature of the cave. Operating under secrecy, the Russian oligarchic collective spent months slowly drilling into the ice, ensuring the structural integrity of the cave would not be compromised. The first engineers to make it inside the cave were completely and utterly at a loss for words. What words can one use when facing undeniable proof that man is not alone in the cosmos? Inside the cave, retrospectively renamed the Cradle in the future files of Terran historical documents, contained symbols. These symbols closely resembled the cave paintings of early man's portrayal of the stars. However, this resemblance ended with artistic style, for the stars depicted were next to a rendering of a being clearly not of earthly origin. This being was pointing to what was clearly a constellation. Astronomers pored over their star charts, and eventually, it was agreed that the symbol showed a map focused on a single solar system. Word of the Russians' discovery quickly got out, and a vote in the UN was called to decide on a course of action. After much toing and froing, the various nations of Earth decided to pool their resources in order to send a team to the star system, depicted at the center of depiction within the Cradle. Traveling at a quarter of the speed of light, the revolutionary plasma drive of the Endurance exploration ship would reach its destination in 6 Earth years. Were we truly not alone in the universe? Was this a message from our creators? Will we find friend or foe? Humanity would finally have their answers. 13 years later, in the year 2161, humanity had heard nothing from those brave souls who ventured into the abyss. Not a single response, sign, or communication. All hands were assumed lost to the vastness of space, and as such were given medals of honor and public funerals, as was human custom at the time. And then it arrived. It left no visible trace of its arrival, no output of radiation, no thermal energy readings, and certainly no communications whatsoever. The object which, one day in the sky, set every human being on edge. There was not a soul who went to bed that night without a feeling of deep, ingrained foreboding. Fathers and mothers promised their children it would all be okay, and all was well. But deep, deep down, they knew. The object was 1.5 times the size of Earth's moon, completely spherical, and as black as the void from whence it had come. Its lack of radiation and thermal readings baffled Earth scientists. It was as if its mere visible presence were enough of a warning of things to come. Life on Earth continued. For 1 year to the day, the people of Earth went about their days working, playing, breeding. However, discussion of the sphere never stopped, and each separate nation had been building on that sphere to build weapons, as an assurance against any threat from the sphere. The Americans and Russians built millions of nuclear-tipped missiles of space-worthy design. The Europeans launched orbital defense platforms to orbit the sphere. The Chinese, through some twist of modern geoscience, claimed to have strengthened the power of Earth's magnetic field to act as an energy shield against kinetic weaponry. Every nation on Earth produced at least one space-worthy vessel armed to the teeth with missiles, railguns, and in all manner of vicious martial hardware. Each and every one was powered by a plasma drive, capable of achieving up to 34% of the speed of light. For 4 years, the people of Earth hammered and toiled to produce great feats of engineering for the defense of their planet. And then it left. 40 days later, just as humankind was beginning to get accustomed to life without that constant reminder of their insignificance on the cosmic scale, they awoke again in shock and horror. For the sphere had returned, and not only that, but there was a second sphere, larger and paler in colour. On the 41st day, the radios and receivers of Earth, digital and mechanical, received the same message over and over, constantly, and without cessation. Humanity, you have been deemed unworthy. We will proceed with extinction procedure 404C1B. Prepare yourselves. To this day, every device built before this time and capable of registering a frequency will play this message. The center of both spheres opened up, revealing a swirling mass of red and yellow. The sun, outshone in its brilliance, paled in comparison to the hellfire of these sources of light. And then, the lights intensified, reaching the earth and scorching the land in a hellfire of destruction and death. Children were scorched while they slept. Soldiers, privates, lieutenants and generals all fried where they stood on duty. While half of Earth burned, the other side of the planet attempted to coordinate the desperate defense of Earth, our home, against this unjustified war. No, this was not meant to be a war. This was extinction. Oceans boiled, forests burned, cities razed. In under an hour, half of the face of the Earth was scorched beyond hope of repair. Along with half of Earth's population, resources and know-how, the orbital defense platforms had also been wiped out. As planet Earth turned upon its axis, the beams of the spheres scourged their path across our globe. As the nations of the Earth fell to this unjustified cosmic wrath, the crews aboard the ships above cried out in terror. But as the realizations of their losses hit home, this terror turned to rage. Sheer rage at the audacity of those who had cursed them to be alone of their species, trapped in the iron boxes in the sky while their planet died. Something had to be done. It was powered by this rage and sense of hopeless loss that one young captain fired up his vessel's plasma drive and directed his ship towards the body of the larger sphere. Igniting his drive, he roared his challenge to the cosmos. "You dare bring terror to my planet? If I must die, you will die with me." And with that, his vessel struck the side of the larger vessel, slicing through its internal systems, prizing open its many thousands of tons of armor plating, as the fusion-driven plasma drive ripped apart the space surrounding this breach. The young captain's sacrifice, while having caused only minor damage to a construct so terribly large, inspired many of those who captained and crewed the other ships belonging to Earth's fledgling space fleet. As the larger of the two spheres imploded on itself, it seemed humanity's survival was not anymore an impossible hope. At a cost of billions, Earth now at least had a fighting chance. Boldly they flew and well, into the jaws of death, into the mouth of hell. When can their glory fade? Oh, the wild charge they made! All the world wondered. Honor the charge they made. Excerpts from The Charge of the Light Brigade by Alfred, Lord Tennyson.